Welcome back for another episode of Imagination Station Network, and as usual, today we have another amazing guest. Now, I'm going to just use these and start. This is how we start the podcast now. It's like I'm always interested, and you did at that time when we were outside Fraser's shop, and that's what kind of inspired this because people don't do it anymore. So, before we start, before you introduce yourself, how are you getting on today?
Oh, as good as I've been for a long time. I mean, it's raining outside. If I wasn't here, I would be at work. And I've got quite a lot of outside jobs on the list. So I'm inside, I'm warm, I'm talking to you.
You drinking more tea?
I'm drinking a tea.
I see.
Life's going well for me on a Tuesday morning.
I just feel that people don't do that anymore. On that day, even that person in the car appreciated it as well, and that's what it's all about. So I'll let you introduce yourself.
I'm Adam Mckinna. I live in Berwick. I'm a tradesman, like almost every type. I'm a qualified electrician, but I do joinery and roofing and plumbing and a bit of everything. Because I get bored real easy, so I can't stick at the same thing for too long. And learning how to do multiple things it keeps me busy. Definitely keeps me busy.
But in the same sense, you're a creative that's allowed himself to be a creative. We've not had one of them on yet. Creatives come in all shapes and sizes and colours and whatever, but you've got a job to be a creative. But I know you're so much more than that, and we're gonna dive deep in there. But creatives are like, we're here to showcase that creatives do have side jobs. Your side job just so happens to be your main job, so it's not really a side job for you. Like, again, what you do for a job as a creative, there will be people out there who want to do what you do and didn't realise that that's a creative job, in the sense like they see an artist and they go, oh, an artist. Whereas I'm here to just put that to bed and say, a creative is what you do. What does a typical day look like to you?
Well, there is no such thing as a typical day, but no, I mean there are a lot of aspects of what I do for a living that are very creative. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it's one of them. You wait up. You have to do the shit to get to the good sometimes. But I mean, I don't particularly get a buzz off being an electrician or doing.
Well, if you did, you're doing the right job.
Well, yeah, that's true. But no, there's jobs come along quite often though, because I've done all the shit that are very creative. And my favourite kind of customer is the kind of one that doesn't know exactly what they want, and they leave me with a bit of free rein. That's and then I can, instead of looking at something like an IKEA flat pack and knowing what the outcome's going to be, I mean, I'm the one doing it. I'm the one fitting the kitchen or fitting the bathroom or doing a loft conversion, and I don't want to know from the start exactly what it's going to look like. I want to decide as I go and see how it flows into, and you do one bit and what you think what the other bit's going to look like totally changes in your mind. And then you discuss it with the customer and you make suggestions, and I mean, they always go with my suggestions pretty much because I can be quite convincing.
It's like going into a barber's. You'll always go with the barbers. Oh, do you think I'd look good in that? Oh, well, maybe you should do that. And then boom, come out with a haircut.
Yeah, and I do realise that I have. I mean, people know what they like, but they don't always know what they can have.
Yeah.
And I like to think I'm quite good at asking them a bit about what kind of outcome they want, and then me knowing how to put things together. Because I mean, there's things that stand in your way structurally and physically, financially, time scale wise, but I can kind of work out a plan of how to get either exactly what they want, even though they don't know what it is yet, or something.
And that's a skill level. No many people that go into their jobs find they have. You earn that skill level by doing and probably making mistakes. Making mistakes is a big thing. It's like I think that's the first thing we've called it, making mistakes. Normally it's like the risk factor.
Yeah.
But it's a testament to you that people put their trust in you. That just shows you how good you are at your job and as a creative. And the hardest bit, when you're saying that, the hardest bit for me, if I was to do your job, would be some people have champagne taste with cider money. And
Yeah.
that's what I was thinking there. And that's not a rude saying to say. You know, I'm the same. It's like I want the Lamborghini Diablo outside, but I've got a Vauxhall Beetle or whatever it is I'm trying to be car.
Yeah.
That's what it's like, man.
Yeah, I mean, finances stand in the way of things to an extent, but I mean, functionality is very important in most things that I do, and I'm good at that. I'm good at being given a space and making it work to its best potential for what it has to do. But I can also take into consideration the aesthetics of it. You know, it's easy to make things functional without looking nice.
Yeah.
But
the aesthetic with it there.
yeah, and I've done so many different styles of so many different things in joinery and even in plastering and painting and tiling that I can see 50 different options, and I can see the one quite quickly that in my mind is going to suit what the customer sees in their head as the outcome, even though they don't actually know what the outcome is yet. You know, I can.
But it's man, so if you were to spin that on and for a customer, and my clients will know when I'm saying this, is like if I do something, because I can sometimes get quite excited and run away with myself, and thankfully, touch wood, I've got it right so far. They'll be like, oh, just do what you want. There's a scare factor there that you put, like for me, if I was to put so many hours into it and then they're like, oh, I don't like that. Whereas you're obviously, you're what's the terminology I normally use? You wouldn't walk somebody into a dark room then turn the light on. You're obviously telling them as you do it.
Yeah, I'm always aware of when I make changes in my mind. You know, you bring it up with the customer.
Yeah.
You discuss things as you go along. You talk about how the job's evolving and how the direction you thought you were going to go in might now look different to them.
Yeah.
And like I say, I've done so many versions of so many things that I can always see the options. They don't know if you can cut a hole in the roof.
Yeah.
They don't know if you can knock that wall down. Sometimes they don't even consider these things because it's just not in their brain space.
True, and if you don't know, you don't know.
Whereas for me, I can walk into a wee room and say, well, that'd be easy to make bigger. You know,
right?
Because
educating me, man, because even me, I've had plenty of houses, but I'm one of these people just left people to it. And then move out and move in when it's ready.
Yeah.
So I'm one of the easy customers who's like, just do that and I'm away.
Yeah.
But
I was given maybe not the responsibility. Well, yeah, the responsibility of achieving certain outcomes very early on. I mean, I left school at 16, and after Christmas and New Year, when everyone was going back to school, I was lying on my bed thinking, I'm cushy here because I'm going back to school. And that morning, my dad, I think he asked me, have you got a job? And I said, not since last night. No, and he says, well, you better get to work then. And I went, and he's a builder, and I went to work with him, a 16-year-old. Now I was about, I don't know, 5'4" when I was 16. I'm still built like the gable end of a fiver, but I was even smaller then, and straight onto a building site and not treated in any special way. Just like, there's the shovel, there's the pipe, and just get on. But, very, very short orders, and then off he would go. And very early on, I remember him going into a bathroom in a house that we were working on, and he basically said, there's the tiles, there's the adhesive, that wall, and then walked away. And I had never even thought about putting a tile on the wall in my life. Read the tub of adhesive, had a look at the wall, thought about it a little bit. At the end of the day, tiled the wall.
Oh, nice.
And that's kind of how it went. And I think that's probably a lot to do with how he grew up. He was the son of a dairy farmer, so from young on they were up early, out in the milking parlour, and you didn't ask people for anything.
No.
As a farmer, you don't get the plumber, you don't get the job, you just fix it. And that's very much my dad's mentality, and that's definitely rubbed off on me.
And you can tell, and that shines through, and that brings me on to another important thing, is like, knowledge. Like, people are always saying to us, is like, and you've known me for a wee bit now, knowledge is important. If we do anything in this life, is like what your dad just done, not just done, but what he did for you by taking you into the room and just saying, listen, do that. But the first step was saying, you got a job yet? Because he was leading you into it.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of people are just assuming that like, you need to try stuff. Listen, creatives try everything, and then all of a sudden, like I'm a late creative, so 37, I found what I wanted today. So now it's my job to inspire, to be inspired. There's about inspiring other people, but well, something's got to say about my ADHD circle there. But as you can hear, our accents are the same. So we both ran away to the same town, didn't know each other, and he's originally from a wee town just up the road from where I come from. So it's like, you know, here's your boys are taking our Benny, be aware. But I mean, you've got a good reputation about yourself. Like, I don't know what it is, but I talk to everybody. You know, I go around about and I make sure that I get to know everybody for the right reasons now. You know, I've had a life, but you've got a good reputation, and that's nice. It's nice to hear that somebody who does what you do, and you're brutally honest, if you can't do it, you can't do it. And you know, that's not what everybody's got that. No, everybody's got that. We're all people pleasers these days, man. It's like, just say no.
Yeah, exactly. And I have tried my best, and I haven't been perfect at it by any means, but I try my best not to ever tell someone yes unless it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Because if all the people that are on my list waiting for jobs to be done, they don't know what is going on. I mean, I work 16 hours some days, you know, I have my daughter every second week. So I only work 30 hours that week, you know, while she's at school, and I spend the rest of the time. I've worked hard to be able to finish at 3 for that whole week and get her from school and spend every minute I can with her, because I've only got half the time. So if I can't go out my way to spend that time with her, I'm doing something wrong. So the week that I don't have her, I will work long days, but I'm happy working them long days. You know, most people don't want to work more hours than they have to because they don't enjoy what they're doing.
Exactly.
If you're enjoying what you're doing and the satisfaction of knocking things off my list, and I'm not going to lie and say make the list shorter, because if I knock 5 things off it, by the time I've knocked 5 things off my list, there's another 5 or another 6 on it. And that's a privilege I've got now, is that lots of people do want me to do lots of things for them. I'm just only one man and I can only do so much. So in the last couple of weeks I've actually got to the point where I'm not taking on any new customers. I've got a lot of customers who own multiple properties, and I've got a lot of businesses I work for who are constantly needing things done and things changed, and I don't need to add to that list anymore. I really don't. But every now and again someone will come along that they want something special done. Something
that'll intrigue you.
Yeah, something really different, and I won't say no to that, because realistically that's what I'd be doing every day if I could, you know, the creative.
And good for you, man. It's like some people get to as far as where you are in life as in business, and go, they just accept it. That's why we like you. You know, we have a long list of people to podcast on here, but that's the reason. One, you stop and you say people how you getting on in your day, which in turn I'm getting to repay it now. That day I met you, I came back and filmed, and that's what we've done ever since. And 2, you prioritise your family, because you know how much, like that story there with your dad, you know, that's something that you're going to have to pass on as well to Quinn. Is like, maybe not shutting in a room and say you get the tiles done, but you know, that's you know that your past shapes the foundations of your future. And that's a skill. It's a skill level, man. It's like getting to some part of your life to go, it's the aha moments. Right, man, we're talking about down the stairs. It's like, we're getting old, man. You know, it's like and you know, you complimented the building and what we've done. That's a big thing for me. When somebody comes in and goes, this is great, it's brilliant. My son's a joiner, he's doing his apprenticeship now, so I know how hard that is as well. And especially Ryan, if you're watching this, when he runs out of money for his lunch, it's like, Dad,
I give you a couple of shifts.
There you go, man. But it's like, you're what I call a hard-working creative. Now, don't shoot me down, people. I'm not meaning that you're only hard-working. I mean, like, so an artist lends their skill, they hone their skill, they do that. It isn't any different, but you're out there manually labouring as a creative. So you have not only the creative heat, but the creative body, whatever you're doing with, you're constantly on the go, man. Probably one of the first times I've seen you clean. I normally see you
it was weird to get up the stone and not put a pair of trousers or shorts with flappy pockets on. But I'm happy when I'm clean, I just don't stay clean.
You've got to get dirty to make money as well. So we touched on that you got your daughter Quinn, and we are fortunate because Quinn's one of our models and modelled pair of boots and a jacket, and we're going to get her back. We have a wee collective, but she's a testament to you as well. She's a great kid.
She is.
There's always a reason why we pick kids, and it's usually the ones who are they're outgoing, but they're humble, and that's a testament to you. And she's just young, man, a wee kid. But aye, that was great that day. And you spend time with her, and that's nice to see. You know your time is limited.
Yeah.
So you prioritise.
And I'm don't want to say blessed, because I know that a lot of the reasons for Quinn being the way she is are down to me. You know, I haven't taught her rules, but I've taught her morals.
Yeah.
You know, and she knows what it is to have a carry on when you're not upsetting somebody. You know, and she knows
boundaries.
Yeah, and she's always looking out for other people, and she doesn't want to do anything that annoys or aggravates other people. And that's just her natural way of being, because it's only other morals I've taught her rather than what to do and how to do it. You know, I teach her how to think.
But you're also you're active, man. Like, I'll bring on to my next bit. But you're out there active, and is obviously my story's addiction though, and you know I did what I could with my mind that I did with my son, and I say a lot of stuff, and I was like, and I don't dwell on. My son's 22 now, but seeing you as he's doing, you go along to the end of the pier, you're doing your handstands, you're doing your balancing, and she's joining in. Joe, it got me really emotional to watch that, because everybody can do, well, not everybody can do handstands, but everybody can take that time out at some point to walk along a pier. It doesn't cost anything.
No.
With a friend or a family member, if you've not got anything, just go yourself, man.
Well, the majority of things that me and Quinn do together that make us happy don't cost a penny.
No.
You know, and she doesn't want for other things. I mean, I give her the option of doing just about anything she wants at the weekend, and she picks the kind of same thing. She wants to go to the waterfall that she's been 2 or 3 times before, because she really loves the walk out and then the climb up the hill and the walk through the field with the sheep, or she wants to go to Alnwick pump track, because that's her new thing. She likes riding her bike around there, and she's really committed to learning to not pedal, but you know, use her body weight, and then the handstands and everything. I mean, I've been doing yoga for over 10 years now, and it mostly started because I've had so many injuries throughout my life. I've broken so many bones. I know so many people who have been through the same as me, and they walk with a limp, or they've got a bad shoulder, and a lot of that is to do with not keeping yourself flexible. So since I retired from racing motorbikes and thought that I would stop injuring myself, which hasn't really been the case, I've been stretching and doing yoga for years, and I do it every morning, and I never wake Quinn up in the morning for school. You know, I get up between 5 and 6, and I'll be in the living room stretching out before I usually do a workout in the morning as well, so I've got to stretch before I do that. And quite often she'll come along rubbing her little eyes half awake, and she'll see me, and she'll sit straight down on the floor next to me, and she'll cross her legs, and then she'll stretch herself forward, and you know, it's just one of them things that's became a habit for her, and you know, a habit that hopefully will stick with her for life and will keep her agile and able to do the things that she loves doing.
And I think, and the other bit that's the hidden part is you make memories to last a lifetime. You can't put money on that.
No, you
cannot put money on that way of life, man. I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm an honest bag. When I first started to see his good thing, and Adam's not on social media all the time, so these are just like tiny wee snippets, and that's admirable. And I've got nothing but respect for somebody who's able to do that and keep their life personal. That is unreal. A wee bit of jealousy when I say that, because it's like, and I'm eating my own humble words, because everybody can do it. In their own form, man. So now that I've came clean with my honesty, I'd love to come and do a wee morning video on the beach for you one day.
Yeah, definitely.
That'd be great.
I mean,
we'll get it recorded.
I do. I wish I had it. Well, no, I don't. I don't wish that I paid more attention to it, but I very much live in the moment, and I think that's to do with me having ADHD as well, or whatever they would like to call it. You know, I just see it as a personality trait, but I'm very focused on what I'm doing at the time. The world around me just flashes by, so it's only afterwards and days later, and sometimes I think, I should have got my phone out, I should have taken a photo, I should have done this. And then I think to myself, well, no, if you're that invested in what you're doing, it's not a bad thing that you don't think to do. Like, I never think to get my phone out take a photo of a special moment, because that special moment is happening to me,
And
that I want to be there.
they do say there's two types of people, and as a social media influencer, I'd like to have more of that than just I'm constantly, and I've got like 4 tripods and I'm always looking for them, and I'm like, in the moment is like, so you've got what I want, and if I'm who I say I am, I'm going to start doing a wee bit less on the social media, because you can be overwhelmed being neurodivergent. You'll get it yourself. So it brings us on to our next question. Because you've obviously said that, but what do you do for downtime? How does Adam separate from business, and even Quinn, because dads need their own time as well? So
I'm still learning that, but because like I say, when I don't have Quinn, I'll go and I go and I go, and like I'll finish a workout at midnight, and jump in the shower and be sleeping by 1:15. Like I don't have much time where people keep saying I need to learn to relax, but they mean sit and watch the telly. I don't watch telly. To watch the telly does not relax me. Sitting on the sofa doesn't relax me. So that's not relaxing to me. I'm relaxed when I feel like I'm getting closer to my goals and I'm achieving something. That's when I feel relaxed, is when I'm achieving things. So I do relax. I'm relaxed all the time. I'm as laid back as they come. Just because I'm physically active and physically doing something. I mean, rest is different. You have to let your body rest. And I do. I used to, from the start of the year up until recently, I only slept 4 hours a night. And I did I was seeing a doctor, a mental health specialist, about getting an ADHD diagnosis, mostly for my sister's benefit, because she got diagnosed a couple of years ago at 39-year-old, and she went on a medication and it changed her life. It really made a difference to her. And but I knew fine well, even though I went to meet the specialist and everything and went through the first phase of it, I wasn't going to take medication no matter what, because like I say, I see it's a personality trait, and I'm only just learning in this year how to
navigate,
cope with the 150 thoughts all the time. Like I'm learning to hear them all, but to see one. Instead of, I was trying for so long to shut most of them out.
That's a good way of putting it, actually.
But if I'm trying to shut them out, my attention's on them. So now I just let them be.
And again, you've answered the fact that that's why you're putting so much into your work as well, because you're not just ticking off the boxes, but you're also appeasing it. It's like if you look around this room, you'll see hundreds of projects, and that's my way of ticking the boxes off, is by fulfilling them. But people are like, oh, you do this, you do that, and I'm like, aye, but the truth is that that's what appeases me. That's what appeases, I call it the ADHD or the autistic gods, so I can go on with the real stuff that I want to do. So it's tough living with the 500 miles an hour syndrome, but you cope well with it, and it's nice that, I mean, that wasn't my story to coax it out, and you freely gave it there, but it's nice to meet a brother in arms who's out there and working, because without you coming out with that, I couldn't say what I'm about to say, is like, you're out there representing for people who don't think, they let their mind, their intrusive thoughts overpower the fact is that they too can go out there. Okay, I'm not saying everybody's going to go out and do a handstand, but I mean, like, go out there and fulfill things and today stuff, and that's the reason why we're sitting on these couches and talking, because I see that. I see it in people who don't necessarily, it's humble. So everybody who's on this couch and has been are humble people. And that's the key to it, including my team, the humble people. And if we don't compliment the humble people, who are we as people to say going forward? I always used to look for an adult name for it, because I'm one of them. I'm constant. So I just say I'm an ADHD adult. That's it. Overcomplicated. Do you not think that we overcomplicate the most simplest process?
Well, and I'm not a great believer in having to even put a name on these things, because like I say, I just see it as a personality trait, and it's just part of who we are. Everyone's different, and everyone enjoys different things, and different things make different people happy. I think that's why I don't look for, I mean, don't get me wrong, I like gratitude given from out with, but it's not what I'm doing anything for, I have to go home at the end of the day knowing myself that I've done what I think should have been done that day. Like, I don't need to be told by anyone else, so I don't look for outside gratification from
A lot of people
anybody.
can't separate the attitude from gratitude.
And a lot of people look for that feeling good about
Yeah.
themselves to come from someone else. And I get it, when people tell you nice things, you do get that little
Of course you do.
flutter,
Dopamine buzz, man.
but it goes away very quickly.
It does, unless they want something and they're not the right people you want to be around, man.
Yeah.
And that's a hard thing for neurodivergence, is that I'm always talking about the box. I will talk the box they try and put you in, and there is that people always want, because you're a likeable guy. People are attracted to your energy.
Thanks.
So people want to come and they want to take bits of it.
Yeah,
And that's
I know why people like are attracted to me, because my energy is good.
mm-hmm.
I'm attracted to good energy. Everybody's attracted
Of course
to
they are.
good energy if they're in a good state of mind.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, energy attracts. So if you're in a
positive.
bad place, you'll attract more bad. So, you know, I've known for years now to catch myself when I start veering off onto thoughts that are less than positive, because
Brilliant.
it just builds and builds and builds, and before you know it, your thoughts are in this place, this despair,
Stinking thinking.
that you don't know how you got there, and you can't even put together the pieces of how you got from there to there. But you have to catch yourself and stop yourself, and then choose something else. And I've always got goals in mind, so it's I'm not going to say it's easy, but I always have something on the back burner that I can just say to myself, I haven't thought too long and hard about this thing that I'm thinking about doing.
Yeah.
But if I find myself veering off because of a situation or something that's happened, and start going down that path where I can feel myself getting less and less positive, that thing in my
do you
mind,
know that do you think that that's why, like, I meet a lot of, everybody's their own individual, but we have the same blueprints, the same ethics, and we've had the same similar journeys to get here. I can't remember what I was going to say now. Taught myself with it. That's another thing. I just literally go for it and then I'm like, fuck. But people are constantly trying to say that we're all the same, and it's like, it's about time that people say, you know, we're not all the same. I get it. I get. I'm 43 this year, and it's like we're not all the same.
No.
And we need to stop trying to make us all the same.
Mm.
But as you enjoy life. That's what I like about you. You enjoy what's there, and you know what you've not got. You work with what you've got, and you can create something out of nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know that no everybody can do that.
Yeah.
I just assumed. I just like, because I'm one of these guys who's been out in the wild, because I'm a loner. And I'm alright with that.
And I spend a lot of time on my own, and I think that's very important for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
But you're only happy on your own if you feel good about yourself. You know, I'm in a place where I feel good about what I'm doing in life, and that I'm doing good by the people around me.
Yeah.
And for everyone that I can. So me being on my own, I'm just left with a guy that really likes me. I
like that analogy.
That's a great place to be. Whether it be in the woods on my own or on the beach. You know, I spend a lot of time at the beach, just on my own, and sometimes I go and do yoga and I do workouts and I do my walking my hands around the beach. A lot of the time I go and I just sit on the beach and I'm just left with a view and my own thoughts. A lot of people are terrified of their own thoughts because they don't realise you can stop that stinking thinking, yeah. Whereas if you can be in control of it a little bit, and we all can, maybe not as all.
There's all different like religions, and I'm not a religious guy, but there's all different, like, but centering yourself is the one commonality that we all have, whether it be Christianity or the other stuff. You find that centre and you sit in it. Unless it's a sunny day, you won't see me sitting long if it's a 2-1 day. I'm out, man. Yeah. I'm in the shade sitting, but it's see that, like what I just did there, when it gets too serious. The old version of me was that good at jumping in and cracking jokes, and it slides through, but I constantly try and address it. Like, it gets serious because that was me and is a version of me. To be like, to sit in your own skin, as they call it.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm getting better at it, and I imagine like the viewers are. There's loads of questions that would open it up, and hows and wheres and whys, but here's the truth of it, man. You just need to go out there and try it.
You do.
I found myself at nature, and then we go down all these rabbit holes that nature is good for autistic and ADHD neurodivergent people. And I believe that to a certain extent because I'm happiest when I'm in a forest.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm happiest when I'm in the sea. I'm happier when nobody's running about me. It's like there's nothing wrong with being alone, man.
No, but it all does come down to where your mind goes when you're alone.
And it's a culture thing. It's like the outcasts were the loners, and I'm like, some of the best people I know are loners, man.
Yeah, it's funny that's how it's being alone and spending time alone. It's funny how it's viewed by the majority of the world, and there's a couple of times now. There's twice that I've been at Cochleburn Beach once and Cheswick Beach once at around 6 in the morning, and I'm sat on the beach with my hood up, with my legs crossed, and both times somebody stopped to ask if I was okay, because it looked to most people that looks like somebody in crisis.
Aye, I totally get it.
Because you're on your own, you're at the beach, you're away from where anyone can find you. And I understand why both them people stopped, and I really appreciate the fact that they went out their way to make sure I was okay. But it just made me realise the way people view spending time alone. It's strange to people.
But it was like, for me, it was one strange to me, whereas I'm slowly starting to come back to that part of me and going, that's all right to give yourself the time. It's funny you say that because I was sitting, I've got 8 points all around Berwick. 8's my lucky number, it's infinity. The fairy trail in Scotland is an 8, everything's like that. But I was sitting at one of my points, and again, I'm a 5 o'clock in the morning guy, there's no doubt about it. I just want to have a wee bit of the world to myself, selfless, unselfish. And I was sitting there and I can only meditate for 5 minutes because my head just starts kicking in. I'm happy with that. So I opened my eyes, man, and there was this couple and I was just pointing at me and I'm like, I get socially awkward, man. And I was like, so anyway, I shut my eyes for a bit longer and he was getting closer, and not one of the films where it's like, and the same is like, he put his hand on my shoulder, because where I was sitting, sorry, I should say that, where I was sitting was like on the harbour.
Oh yeah.
I'm with my wee legs, man. I'm not a tall guy, I was dangling my wee legs, and then he just started, he says, I work for the first response for the Coast Guard. And what an interesting guy, and the same, I was like, that's nice, I never thought of it when I was sitting here that people would think that I'm going to throw in, but the tide's it, man, it's even sorer, but it shows you that people care. They care enough to come over, and that for me gives hope.
Yeah, that's nice to see that people care enough, because there are other, and I mean, I'm lucky as you are to live in a part of the world we do, like we live in a beautiful part of the country where there's places you can go purely to stand and look, and I don't know if it's that or the reason for it, or the small town community thing, but like people are genuinely nice to each other here. And a lot of people that I know that have lived in Berwick their whole life don't view it that way, but they're picking out very small minorities who they've had scenarios or situations with that make them feel like everyone's like that. Whereas for me, as far as I can see, everyone's nice to everyone.
Yourself come from where you come from and where I come from. We come from the same places. Berwick, man, is like somebody's mom broke their washing machine
exactly.
80 years ago.
Somebody kicked their nanny's cat 16 years ago, and whereas I'm still a new. I mean, I've been in Berwick 9 years now, probably
9-10 years.
And I don't feel like an outcast in any way, but I still feel like it's almost still like a novelty to me.
I totally get that. Like, it's a postcard town, man.
Yeah, and
it's a postcard town for a reason. I've just finished my last book and I wrote something magical on the last page, but I'll not say it here, but I'll say it off camera. But there's a reason why they built a wall, and it wasn't just to keep folk out. Do you know what I mean? It's like
keep the goodness in.
It's like the place I'm still finding stuff about Berwick 9-10 years later.
Yeah,
and that's why, I mean, all my paintings are inspired and all the books and stuff is like, I'm so blessed and so thankful that I found myself in Berwick. And I always try and pay it forward, but they do make it a bit harder for you sometimes.
Well, yeah.
But hey,
things have stood in your way.
That's life, man.
Yeah, and
we still do. As long as I keep doing and keeping my side of the street clean, There's no anything big or anything small that I won't do for people. And you're the same, man.
I'll tend to go subconsciously. I can't hold in the fact that I want to help people. You know, like even if somebody's wronged me in some way, I don't carry it with me.
Yeah.
You know, I've forgotten about it as soon as I've walked away.
Mm-hmm.
So somewhere down the line, someone that has perhaps done something less than justified to me, if they need help, I don't care what's happened. I mean, that's in the past. You know, and I'm not.
Can't change the past.
Don't hang on to the past.
What is it they say? You can always forgive, but you can't forget, and that's up to yourself.
Yeah.
And
yeah, you can't be naive to things, but you also can't let something that somebody done on a day that you don't know what place they were in on that day.
Exactly.
You don't know why they acted the way they did. You can never understand that, but like you can put yourself in their feet and think if that had happened, you know, if something was going really bad for them, yeah, I can understand that reaction.
Yeah.
You know, most people don't just walk about in a good mood and then turn around and do something nasty. You know, so it just makes me feel not sorry for them, but just wish more people could learn to keep themselves in a state where they're in a good mood. You know, instead of letting I pull people on first world problems all the time, you know, because most of my friends that complain about things to me and talk about them as if they're a massive, big problem, they're so minuscule. They're so minuscule, you know, and like they're easily resolved as well. But if something's a big deal in your head, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
That's
you
just
know what it's like. It's that middle bit when you're stuck in it.
Yeah.
And you've got that.
You feel like you can't.
And that's the sad part. And I often think, if no me, then who? And that's the bit I get stuck at with trying to help people, because sometimes you're trying to help people who don't want it yet.
Yeah.
And that's the bit. But you've got to give them the opportunity.
Well, yeah.
And it's like selfishness turns into selfness, and you end up just giving them help anyway.
Well, yeah. I mean, I do. I like to think sometimes that when people have a really bad reaction to me for some reason, at least it was me, because somebody else would have punched you. Yeah. You know, that could have went so badly for you.
100%.
But no,
100%.
Sorry, that keeps repeating a million times.
That's it, man. Everybody wants you. So I'm going to be cheeky and I'm going to ask a few secrets, probably just the one, because when I bumped into you the other night, because we've been trying to get a holiday. It's I like face-to-face conversations as opposed to a message. You can't ask somebody to come on a show that
I don't think
face-to-face, but you were putting my path. I'm a big believer of there's an energy runs through this world, and you were putting the path that day.
Yeah,
as I was going
for my Chinese. The exact same. You know, I think we're the energy that and is always connected.
And you get connected to the universe, regardless if there's anybody thinks there's a God or anything. There's an energy that runs through this. You were going somewhere. I'm not going to ask you for destination on camera, because I'm going to ask you after the camera. But you were going to swim after work, and the journey where you were going, it was at least 40 minutes away from your house.
Yeah.
It's like that, and people, not everybody can do that. Like you just switched on to the fact is I'm going there. I'm going for a swim. And that's what I'm going to get. Yeah,
well, it had been on my list that day. Mm-hmm. You know, I went out and I worked probably 8 hours on other people's properties. I got them things that I required in my mind to have done. Mm-hmm. Then I went home and I finished building manholes in my own garden, because my drains collapsed a couple of weeks ago, so I had to dig up the 200-year-old drains and build manholes in. And then, it was about, 8 o'clock at night by then when I saw you. But I knew I was going swimming in the river that day, you know, but I knew I wasn't doing it until I had done A and B, and then that was C. So it didn't matter what time of night it was, and the universe gave me great weather for it that day. It was about 23 degrees at 8 o'clock at night, and off I went, and I got in the river, and I floated around, and I watched the sun crossing over. I watched the reflections on the tree roots, and that's my thing. That I gave that to myself. You know, but it's liberating, because not only did you give yourself a gift, but I went away, and again, these are things that you wouldn't know, but
you passing that on to me, and then me going away. I've booked every Monday off now for the next year, for the rest of the year,
Yeah,
and I'm back in the sea
good. Yeah,
because people take stuff for us without knowing it. You're not somebody who takes anything. You gifted me something, and it was like, man, this is the time. This is the time to get in the sea. This is it. I'm waiting. I'm procrastinating over nothing.
yeah,
And we went, and it was one of the best moments. And I passed on. So I'm always paying it forward. So I passed it on to somebody when we were at a workshop on Saturday, and we were away at 3 in the morning because I want the sunrise coming up.
that's cool.
And I took 2 other fellows, and the other guy turned up, and I was like, that's what happens when you pass on knowledge that you don't know you're doing. Somebody like me is like eating my Chinese. I'm thinking, I'm going to sort this. I need to be getting out there, and that was it. I just stayed jam every Monday. Boom, close it off. That's it. I'm taking control of this, and I'm taking people with me.
I think that's important, and if you can put it into a schedule, that you give yourself a Monday off, you get to refill your tanks,
Exactly.
and you get to put everything into yourself that you require to be the best version of you.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of people are out there trying to help other people, but they've got nothing to give.
Yeah.
Because they haven't put themselves. I'm a great believer in putting yourself first.
100%.
You have
100%.
to, because if you're not the best version of you, then whatever you're giving out is not the best version of what you could be doing. So I like to look after myself to make sure that I'm in a position
selfish, man.
to I don't want to pick Quinn up from school in anything other than a great mood, because she doesn't deserve that, because that will come across to her. So I make sure every time I pick her up, and every morning that I get up with her, I make sure I'm in the right brain space to be the best version of me, because that's what I want to give her.
Brilliant.
I don't want to drag in. And there are things that I know I have to go through the day and I don't want to focus on, I don't want to think about, but they have to be, because they're on the list, they have to be ticked off. But I won't let it linger in my mind. I'll go through the day thinking about everything else that makes me happy, and then say, right, there's what has to be done. Think about it, work it out, decide how you're going to do it, and then do it.
It's like a dopamine menu.
Yeah,
I've heard people list it as like a dopamine menu.
And I feed myself with the dopamine all day, and then when I have to get down and dirty with something that is less than favourable to me, I will give it the time, but I won't drag it about with me.
That's brilliant.
I'll leave it off till the last minute, till it has to be thought about.
It's an interesting thesis, because I'm unmedicated for whatever it is. I've got everything that I've got inside my brain, because my brain doesn't need altered. But you've just gave me an idea there. But if we alter the way we are, we're going to lose part of ourselves by taking something else. So when you're putting in the dopamine menu process, you're rewarding yourself.
Yeah.
It's like, we're not just, I've heard that, these guys have heard me say it before, is like, we're not just here to procreate and die.
No.
There's a bit in between, man.
Exactly.
And you're living in it and enjoying it. It's inspiring to hear somebody who is on a different kind of creative, but on the same journey. And you put people before yourself, but you also prioritise yourself.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I put myself at the top of the list constantly, because it's, if you want the fastest car, you need to maintain that car, and you need to service it, and you need to make sure it's well looked after.
Yeah. So
if you want to be the best you can be, you really need to service it and maintain it.
That's funny, because I use the one where you wouldn't put dirty fuel in a car.
Exactly.
It's like,
and you're not gonna buy a Ferrari or a Lamborghini and then just drive it on the same tyres forever. Because then it takes away the performance, it takes away how good that machine can be. And a human is no different. A human needs to be serviced and looked after, and it has to be put in a position where it can achieve the best things possible. So I put myself.
It's important, man. I think that's where we forget ourselves. Everybody wants to oil the big machine that is life, but you're missing it in the most important part. It's like, you only get 24 hours in a day. People always hear me say it, and it's like, what you doing with yours? There's no other. I stood at the sea yesterday, and I was like, this is like there's no other day like this.
Yeah.
No other day like this.
Aye.
So sure, I'm going to go on and make sure I get the most of it. And you know what I did after it? I went home and slept all day.
Yeah.
I'm the one for doing that, but the universe is like,
That's what you
and then
need.
I got up and painted. So you have to recharge that battery when you. I think what I'm trying to say is you have to allow yourself it.
You do. You have to, and you have to allow yourself to prioritise your own well-being without feeling guilty.
Yeah.
I think that's a lot of people's problem is they feel guilty about doing things purely for them, but it's the total opposite of guilt. Like you shouldn't feel guilty about it because it's although you're doing it for you, you're doing it for you so that you can then be the best for everyone else. So dragging yourself down and down and down and giving everything away leaves you with nothing. So you're just you're spoon feeding the rest of the world what little you have left instead of making sure your tank's full. And then you can go out into the world and you can do great things because your energy level is so high. You have so much to give.
Yeah.
So it's just the way people view it, I think. I mean, I know a lot of people feel guilty about thinking about doing things purely for them. But if you look at it from that point of view, you shouldn't feel guilty. No. It should be the opposite, We
call them TNTs, tiny noticeable things, man. Just a wee tiny change in the day for yourself. Whereas nobody's asking you to go out there and change your entire world or universe overnight, man. But we have over the course of whatever years and doing it. So I'm glad that you agreed to come on because that's it's a nice way to tail off the interview. And as I say, I like coming every morning and just in the catch that you said, I bought new mics so that we can go out on the beach like we proper. Anyway, that's the idea.
No, I'd love that because I do wish sometimes that I had documented more. Yeah. And like I was for a while, I was a constant Snapchatter. My Snapchat story was full every day because it's the only social media thing that is so quick. Nice. See if I could put Instagram stories on as quick as I could put a Snapchat story on, my Instagram would have been full. Or a Facebook story, like if it had been that, but it's not. Snapchat's just that one that for someone who is trying to achieve as much as possible in every minute of the day, pull it out, press the button, maybe write a thing, put it away again. There is no other social media that you can do that with.
No, there isn't. TikTok's it's longer as well, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I haven't even got a TikTok, and I don't use social media, which is something that I'm planning on doing more of, but especially because I live so far away from, not so far, I mean it's 2 hours back to my mum and dad's house, but all my family's on Instagram, and they share everything. They're full of photos, so I get to see both my nephews growing up. I get to see what they done at the weekend. I get to see how they got on at school, and I will tell. Like I'm more of I'll turn up 3 or 4 times a year, see them all, tell them all about everything, in person. But I don't document it in a way that they can see it. And now that I'm realising more and more, I mean, people like to see people who are happy, and it makes them realise that it's an option a little bit more. Seeing big influencers and people who have achieved a lot in life and that's one thing. That's like inspirational to see, but there's something about seeing someone who's in your actual space and who their background and what they actually do in their day-to-day life. Seeing someone like that and being able to tell that they're genuinely happy, that makes it almost more believable for people that it's genuine, but also an option.
It's again cheesy, but going back to inspire to be inspired.
Yeah,
that's what it is. It's a bit. So you're sitting on the couch because I'm inspired by you, and it's like if you're going to go and have your social media stuff, no, everybody's going to love it. But if you start putting a wee bit out there, somebody else is going to get that energy you've got on a different platform. Okay. I send out over 500 messages a day, right? And I send them and the reason why is like that might be the only message somebody gets that day. Now I've had people in the past who are like, stop messaging me, and as an ADHD neurotype, I'm like, what have I done? What have I done? Whereas they'll just accept it. All right, they don't want a message that's 6 o'clock in the morning.
They're not in the right place to receive it.
But then 6 months later, I start seeing them on the social media liking my stuff, and you're like, you miss it.
Yeah.
You miss the message.
Aye.
I get it.
And the positivity.
Aye, so it's like, I'm not doing it. I'm doing it because that might be the only message that you get to. Well, I think we'll bring it nearly to an end there, man. Thanks very much for your time, Adam. It's been inspirational, especially on a Tuesday, which is basically my start of the week now, that you've inspired me to take the Mondays off, and I genuinely mean that. And as the year goes through, we'll pay that back forward to you. That's how I operate. That's how, that new way of life that I've got is all about paying it forward. So I'm glad that we get to meet another person who pays it forward. And we don't mean that in the money sense, man. I mean that in the physical, literal sense of saying hello to somebody in the morning, or knowing that they've maybe had a bad day, or somebody cuts you off, and that's it, man. So you're an inspiration, man. Thanks very much for coming on the show. We always tail it off with, do you have anything that somebody out there, because people would know that a joiner is creative, yes, with their hands and stuff, but you've opened it up to the possibilities of, there's other bits you need to do, there's planning, but to a more extensive, but on the customer's point of view. And that sounds daft, maybe it's just me. Messages in and tell me if it's just me. But if you were to inspire somebody like you, what would you say to them?
Don't look for the massive goal, because it's overwhelming and it's scary. But if there's something that you think you'd maybe like to be doing, or you're 100% sure, pick the smallest thing you can do towards that doesn't overwhelm you, that doesn't take up too much of your time and all that, but just pick something off that list that will get you one step closer to doing or being the thing that you want to be, and then the next small thing, and these things gain momentum. You know, but I think too many people see the big huge goal that they want, but it's so far away, and it's so different from where they currently are, that it feels unachievable. Pick the tiny small thing that you think, or you know you can achieve, and do that first.
Yeah.
And that gets you on the path to where you want to be. Yeah.
Brilliant. So I think that's it, man. So have a wee thing in our head, and pick out a wee mouse, and then read your number out.
Number 3.
Number 3.
Bingo.
Yes. So thanks very much everybody for listening, and head over to jagar82.com and you will see what we are up to there. Aye. Thanks very much for your time. That's yours. You're getting to take that movie.
Is that a mouse or a sperm?
It's a mouse. I've sperms all of yours. Oh, really bad. It's always one, man.
No, it has been a pleasure.
Thanks very much.
Yeah, I look forward to doing more.
Excellent. Look forward to getting on the beach. So guys, listen, if there's anything we've mentioned that you want a wee bit of knowledge about, please reach out. But thanks very much for listening. Bye bye now.